Cybercriminals are also adapting. They have developed attacks targeting the second factors of MFA regularly selected by users. Let's look at an example of how cybercriminals hacked into multiple systems protected by MFA codes. The Octopus campaign was a social engineering attack that targeted technology and financial companies. Cybercriminals sent text messages to employees at various companies that included links to phishing sites. Unsuspecting employees clicked the links, sending them to one of the phishing sites. Each phishing site hosted a fake authentication page created for each one of the companies. Users entered their credentials and MFA codes. As a result, the cybercriminals were able to steal more than 10,000 company user credentials. They used the credentials and MFA codes to log into the authentication sites of the actual companies. The cybercriminals gained access to confidential company and customer information, creating a serious security breach. Did you know that the protective strength of the different second factors can vary? To help prevent credential compromise attacks, it's important to select the strongest second factor technique possible. Note that your company may already have selected a second factor that you're required to use. Let's examine second factor techniques currently being used and the protective strength of each. A technique commonly used by companies today is to send an MFA code to your phone. The code may be sent in the form of a text, email, or voice message. You've probably experienced this at some point. Perhaps when logging into your online bank account, the bank sent you an MFA code. You retrieved the code and entered it correctly on the bank's website. Hence, you were granted access. Doing so confirmed that you were accessing your online account and not somebody else. Software authenticator applications such as Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator are another second factor technique. Used by businesses and individuals, the applications are installed on your phone or computer. An authentication app allows you to enable MFA for the specific accounts that you choose. For example, you might want to enable MFA for your financial and healthcare accounts. Authentication applications typically use MFA push notifications or verification codes to authenticate login attempts. An MFA push notification is a message enabling the user to allow or deny account access. It is sent to the authentication application whenever a login is attempted on an MFA-enabled account. Let's say you've linked your bank account to your authentication application. You attempt a login into your bank account. This triggers a push notification to be sent to your authentication app. Within the app, you select the option to allow access to your bank account. Access is granted, and you can proceed with your online banking. Now imagine receiving a push notification indicating a login attempt you did not make. This should alert you that somebody is trying to access your account, perhaps for malicious purposes. In the push notification you receive, you must select the option to deny access to your bank account, hence preventing the cybercriminal from doing harm to your account. If this incident were to occur, you should change your password immediately and notify your bank. Currently, 80% of users either receive push notifications or codes by text. For this reason, cybercriminals have been developing attacks targeting these methods. Phishing, social engineering, SIM card attacks, and MFA push fatigue are among the attack methods. SIM card attacks attempt to take control of the user's phone number. Or an attack may seek to clone the SIM card to receive copies of phone messages. In an MFA push fatigue attack, the cybercriminal repeatedly sends push notifications to the user. The attacker hopes the user grows tired of the notification and accepts the login attempt. The push notification method and codes sent by text offer the weakest second factor protection. However, authentication applications using the verification code method offer more protection. With this method, the app automatically generates a unique 6 to 8-digit verification code every 30 seconds. The verification code method is not susceptible to SIM attacks or MFA push fatigue attacks. However, cybercriminals can use social engineering and phishing techniques to try to obtain verification codes. Here's an example of the verification code method. Assume you log into your healthcare account that is linked to your authenticator application. You're prompted to enter a verification code that you retrieve from your Authenticator app. Then you enter the code into the account you are attempting to access. The code you entered is verified against the code generated by the app. If the correct code is entered, you are granted access to the application. If an incorrect code is entered, you are denied access. The last second factor techniques we'll discuss are biometrics and hardware tokens. These are the most secure second factor solutions you can implement. Biometric authentication uses physical characteristics or inherence factors, such as fingerprints, facial features, or voice qualities. Biometrics are easy to use once set up, but often require specialized hardware and software. Hardware tokens require that the token is in your possession whenever you need to authenticate. For example, a YubiKey token must be inserted into the device used for system access. When the user logs into the system, the user touches the YubiKey to be granted access. Using biometrics or hardware tokens for second factors makes credential compromise attacks extremely difficult. Each is resistant to social engineering, phishing, cracking, and guessing techniques. Now you have the knowledge to implement the best second factor option for your environment. There are several critical accounts where you should enable MFA first. In a work environment, it's recommended to enable MFA for email, instant messaging platforms, file storage and backup systems, as well as mobile carrier accounts. Additionally, enabling MFA at home for networking equipment, financial accounts, healthcare sites, and social media accounts is recommended. In summary, select the strongest second factor technique possible to prevent credential compromise attacks and protect your MFA-enabled accounts.